kind of feel like a broken record standing up here again talking about some of the same stuff that I keep talking about. Kids with guns, irresponsible gun owners. That's kind of what we're here to kind of talk about, like we did 7 weeks ago when we had another vehicle that was stolen because somebody left the keys in it and a gun was in it. And one of our canine officers ends up getting shot at, and our police dog gets shot. Kids with guns, and people are just leaving their vehicles and their guns just out there for them to steal. This is the same thing that caused the events that we had yesterday afternoon. Started on Saturday night when the victim goes to a convenience store in Lexington, leaves the truck running with the keys in it and his gun in it, goes in the convenience store, and a 15-year-old that we ended up confronting yesterday steals the truck. At some point he picks up a couple of his friends. Yesterday afternoon around 5 o'clock, two of our canine officers come across the stolen truck. And I'm going to go back. All events that I'm going to talk about from this point on could have been prevented, just like they could have been prevented back in March. If somebody would just not left the keys in their vehicle, left it unlocked, and left a gun in it. That's the common denominator for all of these two incidents, is that kids with guns that came from somebody who left them in a vehicle, left the keys in the vehicle, they steal the vehicle, they end up with a gun, we get in a chase with them, and somebody ends up getting shot. That's preventable. That's preventable. Your vehicle's not a holster. Don't leave your gun in it. I've said it 1,000 times. I'm still can say that. And don't leave your keys in a vehicle. Don't leave your vehicle running at a convenience store. That's almost like you're begging somebody to come and steal it. So the truck ends up being stolen. 15-year-old ends up with two of his friends, 16 and 17 years old. We get in a chase with them. They wreck the vehicle. There's a foot chase. And I will tell you this, and I'm not being cruel, but this is a fact. If you run from our canine officers with that police dog and you've committed a serious offense, you are going to get bit. We're going to catch you, and that dog's going to bite you. And that's what happened yesterday. And this is also a fact, that if you have a gun and you point it at us or you shoot at us, you're going to get shot. And that's what we've seen in both of these cases, and that's what happened yesterday. Deputy Cody Sox and his canine Nevada, Deputy Corey Mayo and his canine Jax yesterday were the two that were involved. That's Corey and Jax. The other picture is with Cody Sox and his dog Nevada. These were the two police dogs that were involved in it yesterday, and these are two officers that were involved. We apprehend the 15-year-old with the police dog. We apprehend the 19-year-old with the police dog. The 16-year-old had jumped the fence, and as Cody Sox approached him, he pulls a gun out, and he goes to point at our deputy, and he fires at him. And the young man gets shot, 16 years old. This picture here, that's the gun that the 16-year-old had. And that's the gun laying between his legs a little bit closer, but that's where the gun was found. So he had a gun. Where'd the gun come from? From the truck that was been stolen. The two that were apprehended by the police dog were treated at the hospital. The 16-year-old that shot, he will survive, but he'll be in the hospital for a while. Again, I look and see that this is Police Memorial Week. This Wednesday at the Criminal Justice Academy, we have Police Memorial ceremony where we recognize all the police officers in our state has been killed in the line of duty. Next week in Washington, D.C. is the National Police Memorial Week. This is a dangerous job. We've got bad people out there with guns who just do not care, and they will try to take the life of our deputies. Unfortunately, across America, this has happened quite often. We're fortunate in Richland County. I'm not standing here talking about our deputies being killed. I'm talking about kids with guns with no conscience who just do not care. And that's what we've got to stop. But we've also got to stop leaving our guns in vehicles, leaving our vehicles with keys in them so these young people can take and steal them. So this is twice now within about a 7-week period of time that I'm standing here talking about irresponsible gun owners and young people with guns who end up getting bit by our police dogs and end up getting shot because they want to point guns at us or shoot at us and shoot our police dog. We're going to do our job, and we're going to continue to do our job. Sunday afternoon in a neighborhood of Carriage Oaks was the last place that the people who lived there wanted to experience what happened yesterday. A chase, numerous people running through their backyards and through their neighborhood with guns. We processed the scene today, and we found another gun that we believe the 15-year-old had. It's a BB gun. That's it. You can't tell that's a BB gun. Why would you be carrying that? You're not going to shoot birds to eat. That gun is there to use to rob people, intimidate people, scare people. This looks just like a real gun. You can't tell. So they actually had two guns. Had the real gun that the 16-year-old had, and then you had the BB gun here. These are not first-timers. They have been in trouble before. They are getting charged accordingly by us. They have numerous charges that we're going to place on them. One of them was required to have an ankle monitor on. He'd cut his ankle monitor off. So we're not talking about 3 kids out for a Sunday stroll. We're talking about 3 kids out here with guns, with stolen vehicles, out here terrorizing our community, committing crimes, almost trying to take the life of one of our deputies with a gun. We're just fortunate. Deputy Cody Sox, you'll go back, was the officer that fired this gun yesterday. He is going through the procedure. Our critical incident team responded yesterday. They'll obtain all the facts of what happened. That'll be presented to the solicitor's office, our Citizens Advisory Council, and then they'll make a determination if it was justified or not. But I'm just going to go back to what I said a little bit ago. You point a gun at us or you shoot at us, you're going to get shot. We don't want to do that. That's the last thing we want to do. But these deputies are not going to go out here and lose their lives because we got kids with guns who just don't care and have don't understand the consequences of their actions. Questions?
You said some of the teenagers are obviously been in trouble before. What do you think the penalty would be for these kids? Are they going to be able to just go to jail, get out, be back on the streets next summer, or what do you think the action would be?
I don't know. That's part of the criminal justice system I have no control over. Our court systems are backed up. Our prosecutions are not timely. I can't control that. We're just going to do our part. We arrest them. We put charges on them. What happens to them after that, I don't have any control over. I know what I'd like. They need to be held accountable. That's something serious to point a loaded weapon at someone that you're not just going to, what was in his mind, he's probably going to shoot our deputy. We're lucky he didn't get the shot off first. He tried to take someone's life. He tried to take one of the deputies that are out here protecting this community.
Where did the chase start again specifically?
Around the Summit community, northeast Columbia. They ended up going down a power line and ended up in Carriage Oaks subdivision. Wrecked the vehicle, ran from it, and then the chase was on.
And did they go through like any of the subdivisions in the Summit, or was it like off of Clemson?
Just in the Summit area, there's a little bit of chase within the Summit, and then they hit the power line and went down the power line and ended up coming out at Carriage Oaks subdivision.
The one who cut the Esmondra off, how long had he been filming without the monitor?
I believe he just cut the monitor off this past weekend. So very recently he cut it off.
And is he out, were the children out, or the teens out of Lexington County or Richland County?
Neither one. We haven't determined exactly where they're at. There's things about these young people I can't talk about right now. They are underage, and there's restrictions on what I can say about them. But again, these were not choir boys. They were not leaving church.
Can you say which of the teens cut the ankle monitor off and how many shots were fired at your deputies?
There was no shots fired at our deputy. He did not get to that point. He racked around into the gun and raised it up, and as he raised it toward the deputy, that's when he was shot. And our deputy shot multiple times, and the young man is hit multiple times.
And the gun was loaded when they found it?
Yes, it was loaded.
And where was the BB gun, was that also found in the same place where?
It was found in the vicinity where one of the other kids was arrested.
And from where everything began, where they stole the vehicle, do you believe you have all of the suspects, or is there possible other teams that may have been?
No, we got everybody. The 15-year-old stole the truck Saturday night at some point. The other two got up with him. And again, we're talking about from Lexington there in northeast Columbia. So, what they were doing, we don't know at this point. We're still investigating that. The initial report was taken by Lexington, city of Lexington, so there'll probably be some charges they'll have based on the video they have from where the truck was stolen. So there's additional charges. These are just the charges we put on them at this point. We're still investigating. As the critical incident investigation and gathering facts is going on, also we've got the criminal part where we're putting all the charges together, exactly what they did.
As much as you can you talk a little bit about the process of investigating this? So you were able to have the pictures of the gun that was stolen out of the car. Where did that come from?
The picture I just showed you, that's where the young man was shot, and that's the gun that he dropped once he got shot. That is the picture of the gun that he had that he pointed at our deputies. So that is his gun. That is the gun that was in the truck when they stole it, and he ended up with that gun in his possession.
And only one deputy fired, right?
Only one deputy fired. Deputy Cody Sox fired. Deputy Mayo was there. He had apprehended one of the guys. Cody Sox had apprehended another. Their dogs had apprehended them. The dogs had caught them. And then the third one is when pulled the gun out and Cody Sox shot him.
Could this have been dangerous though for the homeowner that was in that in the home or in that area by the time, because there were people home during all of this?
Yeah, very, very dangerous. Just like it was dangerous to our deputies, it was dangerous to those people. If the young man who'd been shot would have been able to get some shots off, they would have probably been in direction of people's homes. Where Cody Sox shot, there was nothing behind them. So there was no homes or anybody at that danger. His, what we call his sight picture, he knew what was behind him when he was shooting. Even though the gun was pointed at him and he had to act very quickly, the direction he was shooting, that was not a home there. But the young man was pointing the gun at Deputy Cody Sox, who was there by a house. So the young man could have cared less about where his bullets went. We cared.
School's about to let out. What's your message to parents that these kids are going to be in the streets in summertime with a lot of idle time?
It's not just summertime. It's just any time. We just had the other shooting in March. Now we've got this one. Where's the parents at? Where's the guardians at? You're talking about a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 19-year-old. 15 and 16-year-olds. Somebody's got to be in control of these kids. They steal a truck. They do all of this. They have guns. Parents just need to be parents. It starts at home, but if they don't get it at home, it's got to be with us in the community. But some of these kids just don't want that. Some of these kids would rather go out and do what these young people have done, and that's steal and rob and hurt people and get in car chases and end up getting dog bit and end up getting shot.
And with those weapons, were they stolen as well? Were they registered under anybody else's name?
The gun that was that he pointed at our deputy was a stolen gun. That was stolen out of the truck when the truck was stolen. So it's a stolen gun. He's charged with possession of a stolen gun.
And what do you say to parents who are struggling? They see their children going down this road, this path. What resources are available through the community, especially for those who, have children who have been in jail before and they're back out and they can't get a handle on it?
Well, they can come to our youth services. We have a whole division of youth services. We do nothing but programs where we have parent support groups, and we take these young people and we change their lives. We do that every single day. We have deputies dedicated to nothing but do that. But you got to ask for that help. You've got to be able to come to us and say, look, I need help. My child is starting to go down that wrong path, or my child has already went down that wrong path. We're going to do everything we can to help them get them on that right path. So the resources are there. You just got to care enough to ask for those resources and ask for help.
Sure. So many other departments might call in for officer-involved shootings and might call in SLED to investigate, or have another department outside investigate to keep it independent. Why don't you do that? Why do you keep it internal, and how do you make sure that there's no conflict of interest?
Well, we've been doing this for over 10 years, investigating critical incidents. We have teams that have been trained to investigate these type of cases, and we have the solicitor's office who looks at the facts. We just gather the facts. We have a department that's large enough that we can handle any type of investigation, and so from forensics to the investigation part, we can gather all the facts. So we don't make a determination if the shooting is good or not. The solicitor does that. So we're the gatherer of facts, no different than anybody else does. But we've been able to do this, and I think the biggest thing is our community trusts us that we're doing the right thing. If not, then our community would be raising sand about it, and our community doesn't. We've been doing this for years. Community trusts us. We have the Citizens Advisory Council, which comes in. They look at all of our critical incidents. This is the citizens' view. They're part of this department, and they're independent because they have a voice, and they look at what we do, and then they say, yes, we did the right thing, or no, we didn't. So, and we have plenty of safeguards in place.
Sheriff, do you believe that chasing was the right decision, and why?
Was chasing the right decision? It was a stolen truck. These are kids running around here with guns. It's a stolen truck. If we don't chase it, what's going to happen? They're going to continue to go break crime, and then it's going to be on us. Well, why didn't you stop that truck? That victim whose trucks got stolen. You saw my stolen truck. Why did you let it go? I want my property back. So, yes, that chase is more than justified. This was a stolen vehicle, and that's something we need to stop, because they're not just stealing it to joyride. They steal it to go out here and commit other crimes. That's why they had the two guns. That's why they had a BB gun that was disguised to look like a real gun. So yes, the chase was justified.
Sheriff, will Deputy Sox remain on active duty while the investigation is taking place, or will his staff?
He's on active duty. He'll go through our mental health counseling. He'll go through everything that we do to make sure that he is okay. And once that he says that he's okay, and our people, mental health people say that he's okay, he'll go right back to work.
When the truck was reported as stolen, was there an account of there was a gun in the car?
I haven't seen a report from Lexington, but I believe that was probably part of
So
it.
the officers might have known there'd be a weapon involved.
Probably. Again. All right, thank y'all.